This segment is sponsored by Heartland Bank.
The USO, short for United Service Organizations, offers a variety of services that support our military service members and their families. It's a nonprofit that relies on donations from individuals and organizations. And Heartland Bank is supporting its efforts in a big way. Here to share more is Heartland CEO and President Scott McComb. Welcome, Scott. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you so much. Scott, how did Heartland get involved with the USO?
You know, this is kind of a funny story. A very benevolent man in Central Ohio that everyone will know. His name is Les Bostic. He is the founder of the Buckeye Ranch. He was involved with the USO of Central Southern Ohio, and he needed some younger blood on the board. Some people that came from the private sector, had raised money, had served on nonprofit boards and such. And so he invited myself and a good friend of mine, Larry Titus, to a luncheon. And first he asked us to be on the board, and I said, well, hey, how about we see the financial statements and such and so forth, and bylaws and all that. And he says, I'll do you one better. Meet me at Villa Milano on this date. And so Larry and I show up in our coat and tie. And so Larry and I are really the only people in the room that had coat and tie on. Everyone else was in full military regalia. It was the military appreciation luncheon. They go through all of the pomp and circumstance, and recognizing all the brass that's in the room. And then all of a sudden they recognize Les Bostic. And Les Bostic stands up and says, I'd like to introduce my two newest board members, Larry Titus and Scott McComb. And so we got shanghaied actually to be part of the USO of Central and Southern Ohio. But, I'm really glad that I was, because it's been one of the most fulfilling philanthropic things I've done in my career.
So what are the ways Heartland has supported USO Ohio?
Heartland obviously provides a lot of support, not only monetarily, because, we're just a community bank. We're a small and up-and-coming bank, so we can't just write checks to help things out. And frankly, we don't prefer to do that anyway. What we try to do is have boots on the ground, get involved with the nonprofit, serve on their boards, help them raise money, help them organize, come up with quality ideas for them to implement, provide leadership in certain positions. And so we've gotten heavily involved. Obviously, I was put on the board of directors there of the USO CSO. A few years later, they tapped me to be their president. I was the president for 2 years of the board, and then subsequently I went back to being past president, and then they needed me to be president of the board again for another 2 years. And so my overall stint on the board was about 10 or 12 years. And so we provided all kinds of different support, from being creative and helping raise funds and money, but also to help get the word out. So Heartland does have a little bit of a platform, and we've been able to bring the USO alongside of us and tell the great story of what happens at the United Service Organizations.
Why do you think it's important that Central Ohioans support the USO and give more than thanks?
Well, you got to remember that the military gives, takes very good care of the military people. The military people, though, have families. And the USO provides the things that the United States government does not. So the soldiers are going to get 3 squares a day, clothing, bullets, weapons, training, that kind of stuff. They're not going to get child care. They're not going to get education for their kids, clothing possibly for their families, social support as far as job searching, socioeconomic activity, a place to hang out. There's a whole network of USO lounges across the United States and all the major airports, so that military personnel that usually are on to fly to very distant lands can take a load off, get on the internet, that kind of stuff. So it's very important to remember that the United States government does take care of its soldiers, but they do not take care of the soldiers' families and the soldiers' children, and while they're active duty. And this is the specific mission that only the USO provides.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Scott. Have a great day.
I'm going to make it a great day. Thank you. And remember, support the USO, be the force behind the force.
As Scott says, support the USO. And for more information or to join Heartland Bank in their support of the USO, visit ohio.uso.org.